Time and again our enemies have risen up. Time and again you've beaten them back. You've held the worst this world has to offer at bay. Carved out safe places where people can build new lives. But our enemies are getting tired of losing. Now, 3 of our greatest threats are joining forces against us. The hyenas, the outcasts, and the true sons. We've never faced a threat on this scale before. The streets of DC are on fire. You have to stop them. You have to break the pact.
Did I just respawn again?
What's going on, Dags? If you're new to your channel, welcome to Endgame Gaming. I'm your host, Nox, where my favorite thing to do is respawn, and it's not because I'm good. So with the current Year 7 Season 1 season almost over, there's a couple things I want to talk about. I'm going to showcase 6 builds I'm planning on running next season. And I'm going to give you a couple reasons why I'm planning on running those builds and why I think they're going to be good. But first things first, let's take a look at this tweet from the official The Division game. Pretty much the gist of it is a pity system. If you hit tier 130, you're going to get the Lexington, and if you hit tier 150 at those Summer Swarm event caches, you're guaranteed to get both the Lexington and the Terminal knee pads on September 12th, which is pretty dope. Also, September 12th, I'm going to be live streaming Borderlands 4 when it comes out. And now the main reason why I think for next season, these loadouts I'm going to showcase are going to be really good is if you remember last season with Rogue Momentum, that 15% rate of fire, 15% weapon damage that we got, and how that pretty much made every build super powerful. And the Rogue Momentum really elevated those slow firing, hard hitting guns to like really enjoyable and playable. Well, next season, the global modifier is going to be called Divide and Conquer, and you're going to get up to a total of 30% rate of fire and up to a total of 30% damage. And you're going to notice I'm going to be pretty much running the Terminal knee pads for almost all the builds. I have a video dedicated to explaining why I think it's really good, but just why the Terminal knee pads are so powerful. Damage the target out of cover, and some amplified damage sources apply twice to the secondary target. And another way to get free damage you'll notice is I'm running the TDR card custom with Precision Smart Cover. And the reason is that Smart Cover doesn't function like the other skills. When you place the Smart Cover, it's going to stay at whatever skill tier it was when you placed it. So all you have to do is put the TDR card custom in your hand, get that +1 skill tier, place the Smart Cover, and then swap over to your primary secondary gun. And the Smart Cover is going to stay at the +1 skill tier, giving you an easy 7% more damage target out of cover and the additional weapon handling. And I also have a video explaining how that interaction works. And also you're going to notice that a lot of my weapon choices are going to be those slow firing, hard hitting guns like the UIC-15, the M60 LMG, like the RPK-74 LMG. Those all fire really slow, but they hit like trucks. And the additional 30% rate of fire, 30% weapon damage, comboed with Terminal knee pads, comboed with the TDR card custom, plus Precision Smart Cover, you're going to be pretty much running around with like a one-shot build without the Headhunter Determined combo with the UIC-15. And all the builds I'm going to be quickly showcase, I do have dedicated build videos for them if you're interested. And also if you catch me on any of my live streams, I'm actually usually running one of those builds. But either way, let us know if you're excited for the new season. And I'm planning on live streaming the Division 2 a couple nights a week, as I also live stream the Borderlands 4 a couple times a week as well. So without further delay, let's get right into the builds. So with this first loadout is going to be with the Pestilence. We're going to of course have the Plague of the Outcast, which is going to benefit from that 30% weapon damage. And it's going to give you some crazy ass ticks. Secondary doesn't matter. Sidearm with TDR card custom. And then for the knee pads, we're going to have the Terminal knee pads. You all should get it on the 12th. It comes with the Bewildered Talent. It works really well with amplified damage sources like Glass Cannon. And to damage target out of cover, it applies twice to secondary target. And I got the Sacrifice with the Perfect Glass Cannon to give me the 30% amp damage. And then I got the 3 pieces of the Lanemo. The freaking Perfect Unstoppable Force actually boosts the tick damage of the Pestilence, which is awesome. And then we got Contractor's Gloves. Then for the skill, Precision Smart Cover. Secondary, you could put whatever you want. You could run the Reviver Hive if you want. I do like to run the Booster Hive as well. And with this loadout, I'm sitting at 54% critical hit chance, 129 critical hit damage, almost 100 headshot damage. My armor is kind of low, 800k, but we get the 80k armor on kill. Build that I'm going to be running next season is going to be this UIC-15 mod 2 build. And this thing is like the best rifle, I think, just because it hits hard, has a super large mag, and the handling on it is phenomenal, meaning you don't need to waste any attributes, no stats on any type of weapon handling. You just go raw, unstoppable, undisputed damage with this loadout. Like, look at my weapon mods. I got 10% critical hit damage, because I don't need weapon handling. I don't need stability. I don't need reload speed. I don't need optimal range. And then next season, we're going to get that 30% rate of fire and that 30% damage. This thing's going to be a beast. And then I got the killer. And then for the secondary one, I'm running behind you if I'm in a group, or I'll play strained or rifleman if I'm playing solo. TDI custom with the +1 skill tier because I am running the precision smart cover. We got the Tinkerer. You guys already know about Tinkerer with his talent. That's why I got the 2 rifles with 2 different talents. Chest piece is going to be the sacrifice with the perfect glass cannon because I am running the terminal knee pads again. That's my favorite combo, terminal knee pads with the sacrifice. I got the contractor gloves because hands down, even though the brand set doesn't do anything for rifles, the 8% damage to armor actually boosts your overall damage. And then I got the 2-piece of the SP Zoo for the magazine size and rifle damage. And then I'm running Unstoppable Force. You can run Vigilance if you want as well, but Unstoppable Force kind of works a little bit better, especially if you're playing solo, just because you are going to get shot if you're solo and you're going to lose Vigilance a lot. Stat-wise, I'm sitting at exactly 60% critical hit chance because I'm running Killer, so I want to be at 60% or as close to 60% as possible. The rest, critical hit damage, we got 93% headshot damage. And then armor, you know, same as before. This season, the MK46 was rocking, you know, because it has the higher rate of fire. And you want the higher rate of fire to get your damage out there. But next season, with the additional 30% rate of fire and damage, this classic M60 is going to be clapping them cheeks. So you have the option to do the 5% rate of fire and have a 100-round mag. This is how I would run it for like heroic below content. But for legendary content, I'll pop in this big bad boy to have the 150-round mag. And then, because on legendary, you're going to get more value out of that 150-round mag versus on heroic. On heroic content, you're already going to kill everything with the 100-round mag. So you don't really need the 150-round mag. Same thing as before, TR card custom. Because I am running the precision smart cover, so we're going to get that +1 skill tier to boost the skill tier on this bad boy when we put it out. And then, of course, another theme of this build is going to be the terminal knee pads with the Bewilder talent. We have the Tinkerer as well. That's why we got both of these LMGs with the Measured and Frenzy. And then the rest is just going to be Strikers. So it's pretty bunch of Strikers build. It ain't nothing fancy. It's just Strikers. And I was saying, like, the Strikers, any loadout is going to work with Strikers. As long as it shoots, it's going to work with Strikers. So I wouldn't sweat Striker builds. I'm sitting at 47 critical hit chance, 129 critical hit damage. You can get your critical hit chance up more if you want. Just swap one of these critical hit damages for critical hit chance. This loadout right here is actually going to be better for heroic below content than the Strikers one, just because you get all the damage raw up front. It's going to be the same thing. We got the 2 M60s frenzied with measure, TI card custom, precision smart cover, whatever other skill. We got the terminal knee pads. We got the glass cannon for our lane mo, second lane mo, third lane mo as the backbone with the perfect unstoppable force, contractor gloves, and then we got the Tinkerers. This actually does a lot of freaking damage this season. And I could only imagine how much damage it's going to do next season with the 30% damage and rate of fire. So either or, you could run it like this or with Strikers. Like I was saying, Strikers is better for legendary. This right here is going to be better for heroic below content. You can also run this on legendary as well. But if you have the choice to run this versus a Strikers for legendary, I'll go with the Strikers. So this loadout is going to be my one-shot, two-cheek loadout with the 1886. The secondary could be whatever rifle you want. I have Determined with Rifleman. Sidearm could be whatever we want. The Harvest, you could run Tinkerer Custom. We got the Tinkerer to put online both of our talents. We got the Turmoil knee pads doing its thing, splitting up. But the way it works with one-shot builds is the Headhunter talent doesn't recognize that you have Turmoil knee pads. So instead of splitting up your damage, you end up doing maximum damage twice. Say you normally do 20,000 damage per shot. You toss on Turmoil knee pads, you should do 10,000, right? But on a one-shot build with Determined and Headhunter, for whatever reason, it doesn't work right. So you're still going to do 20,000, 20,000. And I'm running the Turmoil knee pads, so it takes longer to stack up your Headhunter, just because you're doing reduced damage until you get to that threshold where you're going to kill enemies in one shot. So you're going to want to run Vigilance, the 2 piece of SP Zoo to get the 20% rifle damage. And then I have the name Chain Killer, just because the first kill is going to give you that 25% more to go towards the maximum amount that you can stack it up. So that's going to help you stack it up faster. And with this loadout with expertise 30, I only have to kill 2 enemies to get into that one-shot kill potential. Normally, it would take you 3 kills to get into that one-shot potential. But thanks to Tinkerer's Mask allowing us to have Riflemen, we do enough damage to really, get this build rolling. And then I run the Riot Foam, so that way I could foam the enemies and line up my headshots. And then I have the remote pulse. This is like, if I'm doing open world stuff, I could throw out the pulse. I could see exactly where the enemies are. And because I'm killing everything in one shot, I want to find them as fast as possible so I could just shoot them and, go on my way. That's why I have the remote pulse. But you could literally run whatever secondary skill you want. We do have 36% critical hit chance from the Tinker and Turmoil knee pads. And then some critical hit damage and 150% headshot damage. And like any type of one-shot build, you want to have at least 150% headshot damage. Alright, so for this loadout, it's going to be Ongoing Directive. We're going to be rocking the RPK 74 as a primary with the Sadist talent. Secondary is going to be the Grudge because it comes with the talent Perfect Vindictive. And pretty much when you kill somebody under a status effect, yourself and your teammates within range are going to get 21% critical hit chance and 21% critical hit damage. Sidearm doesn't matter. You can run whatever you want. And you're going to want the Centurion Scabbard because you're going to get a 20% rate of fire and the 20% weapon damage. And we're going to put that on our RPK 74. So we're going to get the 20% rate of fire, 20% weapon damage, plus the modifiers 30%. It's pretty much going to turn the RPK 74 into a goddamn monster. It's going to be shooting pretty fast, and it's going to be freaking shooting like a truck. It's going to be hitting. You're going to kill everything in a couple shots. Then for the backpack, I got a Cheska with Wicked. You could also run Vigilance if you want as well, and also Unstoppable Force will work pretty good. And then finally, the last 4 piece is going to be the Ongoing Directive. We got the chest piece to give us a Parabellum Rounds talent, which is going to put our damage from 20% to 50% amp damage. We got the gloves, we got the knee pads. Skills, you got the Hive, we got the Banshee Pulse. Stat wise, 36% critical hit chance, 149 critical hit damage, 85% headshot damage. This right here, this loadout will actually hit a lot harder than running a Tinkerer loadout for Ongoing Directive, just so you guys know. Alrighty, if you made it this far, you're awesome. Let us know which one of the builds was your favorite. I personally really like my goated Pestilence build with the Turmoil knee pads and the perfect glass cannon. I think farming with that build is super quick and efficient. Either way, since you made it this far, make sure to like the video, drop a comment below, and make sure you guys are subscribed to help out the channel. That's all for now. I'll see you in the next season.